Hello friends and bees and friends who are also bees, welcome to this week's Final Fantasy XIV stream. Gosh, it has been a while. I have just realised my headphones aren't plugged in because I unplugged them to use them really earlier. So let me just fix that real quick. That's better. Hello, welcome to this week's Final Fantasy XIV stream. This week we are going to be catching Arshad up on the story. I've got a couple of quests open that I'm working on him at the moment. I'm going to start by doing the scholar quest just because I've got that open. I have over the weekend moved Arshad over to Faerie, so he's sort of starting over there. He's now part of my FC. I sort of wanted to have alts on different worlds, but it's just, for Arshad at least, more convenient to have him be on a North American server, simply because I'm a bit worried about DPS queues on a European server when I'm on the West Coast. So for convenience's sake, I moved him. I've got another alt on EU, so I've not abandoned EU completely. It's just that at the moment, you know, it's like at the earliest 4 in the morning there. I just don't want to deal with that. So you'll have to bear with me, by the way. I'm still getting used to streaming. I haven't streamed Final Fantasy XIV in like over 2 months, so I have done the Bozja stuff on Maeve, but I'm probably going to do a like special Bozja day on Arshad. I might do that next week, where I'm just doing that. We'll see. Loading in slowly but surely. But we're going to start off by doing the Scholar quest. I think I'm just going to work through the 2 quest lines I've got at the moment, which are the Eden raids, and he said Odin raids, the Eden raids, and I've got what is it? I've got the, I think it's the unlock for Puppet's Bunker. I genuinely can't remember if I've done Puppet's Bunker on the Sky or not. Let me check real quick. I have not. So we've got a whole bunch of Eden and Puppet's Bunker to do. Anyway, let's swap over to the GP. Look at me. I'm going to turn that up. I'm also going to turn this up slightly. Yes, I am here we go. Words are difficult. I'm just going to double check that. Good, okay. Let's do this Scholar quest while I'm here. Mine's especially sharp. Okay, I've done all this on Maeve before, so don't look at my terrible, shameful words. I'm sorry, my brain is like blanking. It's Tuesday, I can't think. Don't look at my terrible, shameful grammar. I think what I'm going to do this, then I'm going to go do Eden, and while I queue for Eden, I will do the others. God, being able to fly here is so nice. It is really very good. I don't need to do this on camera, I could do this off camera, I just thought while I'm at it. May as well do this and unlock Scholar. In the meantime, we'll enjoy being able to fly. Fish. Comes. I've only, like, I'm half reading what we're doing. Go deliver fish pie. Humble abode. Okay. Hand over some fish pie for a quest I can barely remember. Hand over this message, whoever delivers the eel pie. Take the purse and hand it to the dancer. Eagle death as she returns home. There she is. I could have walked, but it's more fun to jump and swim. 3 children to feed. Fresh stallings. Natural is from Yumiko, and Prio is from me. Last one you're to deliver to some random dude. This is back in the ARR zone of all quests are actually just like fetch quests where you wander around, although being able to fly makes it much easier, especially when you're underleveled. So let's have this bottle of wine. Doing on your road. Go deliver some wine. Fine drop. Sir, Captain, I want to have a word with you. Surprise, it was all an elaborate ploy to get us onto the Morning Star. She is flailing away. Says shush, we'll talk later. Unfairly reminded of a specific person with the face that that NPC uses. Right. Let's go. Give me Scholar. Once I get Scholar, I can start queuing as healer on this guy and don't have to worry about healer queues. Or DPS queues, rather. I am gonna skip the cutscene just because this one, at least, I've already seen. Already done this on Maeve, so. Just sit here beating NPCs up. can. Bane would be so nice right now. Unfortunately, I learn it after this, which is annoying. Where's the healer at? There we go. Come on, Kylia. Heal yourself up. Physic doing absolutely fuck all. As the prophecy foretold. And we'll skip this cutscene too. Then beat this guy up. God, I miss Ruin 4, Ruin 2. I don't know what buff I get from standing in here, but I'm going to keep standing in it. Stand in the middle of it, Kylia. There we go. Duty complete. After this, once we've got Scholar, I will not be skipping cutscenes because I haven't seen them. It's just like ARR cutscenes be like. Skull emoji. Right. Pop back to the Arcanist's Guild. Imagining me with a hot collar and laughing at myself. No, I'm not. I'm gonna do this. One sec. Why waste electricity putting heater on when I can just close my window instead? Far more sensible. Arcanist Guild. I wanted to fix a setting. That down and that down slightly. There we go. I'm also going to turn sound effects down slightly. Okay, there we go. want to try and turn down battle music so it doesn't get as intensely loud when it goes into battle, but... Welcome back, Arshad. Much I'd ask you first. May I have the satchel? There you go. Let's see. I want all of these. I don't have any of them. There we go, level 13 get. Next step. Teach me how to be a scholar. Assistance of one individual will be invaluable success to archaeological research. Say claims because despite his eloquence, filled with marauder with academic ambition, still strikes me as odd. I recall 3 to formulate your own opinions. His name is Alcazalca. He can be found at the Marauders Guild. Curiosity of who are you? I am not gonna do the summoner quest. There we go. Brain stopped. Nice. Thank you for setting aside your preconceptions, Arshad. I'm acutely aware how unusual it is for a thingy to conduct research. Not like my more muscular brethren, rather than rush blindly into the enemy's maw, I formulate and execute stratagems to great effect. Archaeological pursuits are but an extension of practice. For at present, I'm researching ministry tactics of ancient Nim. Do not surprise me if you are familiar with Nim. Civilization flourished some 15 odd centuries ago during the 5th Athel era. Nimians lived during an age of wonders, when the magical arts flourished. That magic can be wielded for all for well, and this period of peace eventually gave way to the Great War of the Magi. Nations of that bygone era brought earth-shattering magic to bear against one another, yet Nim, with only a handful of mages to support its army of mariners, repulsed would-be invaders time and time again. Precisely how military forces of this composition could divide its stronger neighbours is a mystery which has long puzzled military historians. By translating extant Nimian tablets, which I've recently purchased, I mean to solve the riddle at long last. As my knowledge of Arcanima is cursory at best, I require an experienced arcanist to help me with analysis of the text pertaining to magical arts. Will you be that arcanist, Arshad? Nimian tablets were stolen on route to Limsa Mimosa. Information inscribed could be of untold significance. Will not allow thieves to sell it to some rich old collector for a pittance. Please accompany me to the Raincatcher Gully docks and help me reclaim my relic. I have strong reason to believe the perpetrators can be found there. Maybe I should not be doing this on camera, but oh well. I'm here and you're all here with me. I just want to get Arcanist or Scholar unlocked. So Scholar, Warrior, and Ninja are the 3 classes I have to get up from 30. So, not more than broken men who've seized the docks and taken to robbing every passing ship. Come, let us put an end to their banditry and take back what is ours. Once again, it's really loud, and I don't know why. At least I've got Bane, you know? Okay, I might level up to 31 in a minute. Like that they are Alcazolka the Thinker. I have to change a whole bunch of Arshad's settings and also keybinds. Keybinds mostly, I think. I'll work out how to copy those across. Nice. Help me search for the tablets. Got him. Treats as Nimian military tactics, just as I'd hoped. And a Faerie, more importantly. Hello there. Mayhap the tablet can explain this. Scholars, familiars, fairies? Sunlight of Eos doth soothe and shield. Moonlight of Selene doth silence and strengthen. Arshad. By the 12th, have you any idea what this means? We've rediscovered the long-lost magical arts of the Nimian scholars. I don't know what it means, but okay. God, I do need to buy a light for my face cam. I don't know how to play Scholar. In retrospect, it makes much more sense for Arshad to take up to be an Arcanist and Maeve to be a Scholar, and it would also have saved me a class leveling on Maeve, but oh well. Well, now I have seen everything. Anyway, I shall return to the guild and begin translating the tablet. Cannot wait to see what other secrets it contains. Water skills, there we go. I haven't yet managed to like wrangle in my head why Arshad is, pardon me, why he takes up being an Arcanist. Dancer, Ninja, and Red Mage are all sort of personality aspects of him, and he takes up Warrior because he basically becomes like part taken over by the Soul of Art, but I have really not yet decided why he becomes a scholar, but I'll sort it out. Maybe someone suggests it. That would be an interest. According to the tablet, crystal from which the fairy sprang forth is called the Soul of the Scholar, and it contains the wisdom of those long-dead Nimian mages. With it, you can call upon the fairy as you did before and bind her to your will. As I said before, I've little knowledge of Arcanima, so unless you have some objections, I'd like to entrust the crystal to you. Oh, and you needn't recompense me. Simply knowing that the lost arts are being preserved is enough. I shall devote my energies to deciphering the remaining text. Should I discover anything new, I promise you'll be the first to know. Nice. Scholar unlocked. Summon a fairy who will help you do things. Right. Let's not the greatest glamour I've ever done, but oh well. We do be out here in shitty leveling glamours though. There we go. And I have this when I hit level 38 and nothing else until I hit 50. Which is annoying, but there we go. Anyway. Now that we've done that, now that I have Scholar unlocked, let us continue with Eden. Which I am way behind on. Can't remember if I unlocked Bozja or not. I think I did. Update the title of stream so it is a little more accurate. Let's get out of here. The other thing I need to do is I need to copy the macro. Really, I just need to copy my settings and keybinds over. Reen's acquitted herself well in this whole Eden business, but she needs to slow down a little. We're in no hurry after all. I guess I did the first two Edens. Okay, so I need to do. Divine is the ideal candidate to embody the element of water. Be warned the circumstance of said summoning to differ greatly from that of the primal encountered in the source, and the results are difficult to predict. Ethan seems to be responding well to my instructions, so we should reach our destination in no time at all. Let's go. Right, this is the place. Let's see if I can draw out the water aspect of ether. I'll see if... Rest is up to you, Arshad. See if I can not be distracted by people in other buildings walking around. Memories of Leviathan come flooding back. This is when he takes approximately 5 years. Now we're going to go continue with the Papa's Bunker unlocks. I've also got the thing to get a promotion. Okay, no more distract. Finished, have you? Hopefully speaking with those folk to have impressed upon you it wasn't some menial errand anyone could have done. No, slightest mishap in the banner delivery process would have spelled disaster, you hear? What's happened for context for this one is that we've just delivered the delivered some banners. I don't know what I'm going to do when this guy's caught up. Start streaming on Myron, I guess. Now I'll probably be level grinding on him for a while yet. Also, I'm going to make myself a new frame, I think. Something a bit smaller. You love to see it. I understand that waiting for someone to give you more work to do. Go and witness the fruits of our labours, revel, frolic, etc. If you need to task that badly, you can set yourself to working up an appetite. I expect you to partake heartily of a traditional cuisine, not to mention the drinks. Stones, spare me these menial tasks. If I see one more streamer... Carnival in the rain. Why, it's an Arshad, and run absolutely ragged with tedious carnival duties, no doubt. It is indeed my solemn duty to eat my weight in carnival food. Eating? Are you mad? There's no time for that. We've got the key to activate. All this festive nonsense has been an unnecessary distraction, but Conrad and I did manage to make some real progress while the chief wasn't looking. If you want the details, and I know you do, you'll have to meet us at the usual place. Last thing we need is half the village drunk and the eavesdropping. What I really want is for this cue to pop. And for my brain to work. Status at party finder. Why? Don't know why we went to AFK zone there. I must have accidentally hit some mystery keybind. We haven't even got to the part where Anog and I argue yet, and I'm already knackered. There you are. Let's review our work, shall we? Doubtless you've forgotten some significant detail. Hopefully even you will recall, we acquired a source of energy to restore the functionality to the so-called key 2P told us about. We have said source in the form of Nocket's crystalline carapace, though the transference of the energy from crystal to key proved a challenge. I've forgotten how to read. Nothing that Conrad and I in my infinite wisdom couldn't handle, however. You'll find your faith in us well rewarded. Key is now fully prepared and, as far as we can tell, functional, so I dare say we'll soon be capable of smiting our enemies with the press of a button. Or we would be if we had the first clue how to operate the blasted thing. Indeed, it seems the key is a more complicated device than we anticipated. Thus far, we succeeded only in making it display a series of strange glyphs. We presented these to the pod for translation, of course, but we cannot make heads nor tails of its terminology no matter how many times we prompt it to explain. Androids appear to have an intuitive, or at least finely honed, grasp of technology, so I have no doubt that TP would know, but... She's shown no signs of mysteriously awakening, that's for certain. I wonder what 2P stands for. You, Pod, can 2P be revived? Analyzing android repair sequence. Error detected. Confirming details. Damage to internal mechanism detected. Proposal, replace the damaged part. So with a replacement part, repair is possible. Dare say facilitating the process would prove more efficient than continuing our own fruitless experimentation with a key. But hardly call wandering factor for days on end with the barest idea of what sort of part we're looking for efficient. So unless our friend here... sorry, I just got an email for something I have to pay attention to. Unless our friend here just happens to stumble upon a room filled with android quartz that's ripe for the harvesting. Oh yeah, the quartz room. That's a thing. Odd, but superlative. You'll take us there at once. We'll bring Pod 2. It can tell us if any of the androids have the part we need. Onward! Let me read this email. Common people do a queue. Cool. Pretzel, I don't want you posting because we should be paused. So apparently, I just noticed that Pretzel is being blocked by AutoMod because of a term used in the message. Weird. Next time it pops up, I will click on it and see what's going on there. Please, more people queue. Must be get back online now. I think I've done Bozja. But if I run out of other stuff to do, we'll I'll go do like the unlocks for the Bozja in front, and then next week I guess I might do like a Bozja special. Depending on how long it takes to get Eden done. Though the next set of Eden is coming out soon, goodness. Not that I'm not eager to take part in Android, but how do we do that? Tactical support units are authorised to recover Android ports and carry out replacement and repair operations. Cool, there's a fragment I didn't get before. A look inside the androids and a giant step towards our ultimate goal. By the by, where are we going? Ugh, sneeze. Pardon me. Big sneezes. Big sneezes. Gonna hang out in the quartz room. As we so often do. Over here, is it? Connacht, Pop, stop dallying. How disturbing. Clara the Garb is different, but they do appear to be of the same make as TP. Which means Ghoulish or not, we can make use of them. This is truly excellent, Connacht. My understanding is that Pod should be able to salvage the correct part and initiate the repairs. Let's see. whatever, just click a thing and hope. Come on, Puggies, Q. More we learn about the android's technology, more fascinating and unnerving it becomes. Who could possibly have created this? Pod compatibility confirmed. Must be instructed every time? Go on, Pod, fix 2P. Oh. Popped. Run around panicking. We'll do the podcast scene later then. I really need to get... I'm gonna get a USB powered ring light for my webcam and hopefully that will fix some of the problems. Sorry for the amount of mouse clicking happening right now. I don't really know what I'm doing, which makes it difficult. Fuck. Cursed by... Cursed by my desire for uptime. Hit arm's length of hope. That's how it works, right? Mostly I've done this way back when it was farming it and it went terribly. Just in general. I need to change my thingy to note that Maeve and Arshad are both on Faerie now. God, my skill speed. At least I made it out to the side in time. Oh, fuck. Got hit, didn't die. Love to see it. Nice. There we go. Nice. And I got the whole business in one commendation. Most emphatic victory, Arshad. Unfortunately, we cannot yet be certain if the ether is behaving as predicted. Like this, unlock even 4. Go back and finish that one off. That was incredible. Is that what a primal looks like? Well, kind of. Oh, not quite the same then. But why is that? The White-Hidden Source was summoned by the Sahagin, to whom he was no less than a god. Without their faith, the deiform entity that we brought into existence differed on a fundamental level, although it was no less formidable. The manifestation relied upon Arshad's experience of Leviathan, and may have been influenced by recollections of other water-aspected beings, leading to further discrepancies. Memory is brought to life. But I still can't tell if our plan actually worked. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. How goes it? If you finish laying your primal, whatever it is, I suggest you get back here on the double. There's something you ought to see. What could that be? Evidently Aaron, you requires us to return to the base of operations forthwith. We niche back homewards. What do I want? I don't know. Go for crit. I don't know what the stat priority is for Dragoon, so... Arshad, look! It is pretty cool. Holmes' good grace. 'Tis a marvel to behold. I never thought that a whole lake would suddenly appear like this, and we're just getting started. I only hope the burden's not too much for you, Arshad. Nice. Such a profound transformation, though the change appeared to be limited to an area no more than a few miles in diameter. You know, when I first heard of Orion's plan, I didn't know what to expect, but then that enormous crystal appeared and water came gushing forth, and, well... I think this proves the water aspect of Ether is no longer lying dormant. So which element should we realign next, Orion? I propose Earth. Should we succeed in returning the soil's life-giving energy, the empty shall become capable of supporting the growth of flora. Imagine that. Forests in the empty. Before we begin, I'd like to know how that girl is doing. Still sound asleep. She didn't so much as stir even when I took her helm off. Thought it might be getting a bit stuffy in there, and I was curious to know what sort of person we're dealing with. She seems surprisingly normal, not at all like your usual void scent. I'd say she's around the same age as you, Ring, perhaps a little older. Well, whoever she is, we should let her rest while we concentrate on the task at hand. As much as I'd love to go with you, I'd best stay here in case she wakes up and is feeling less than cooperative. And when I wait here wishing I had something to read, my thoughts will be with you as you fly off to face the next opponent. Must be a strange feeling to bring something to existence through your own willpower, only to slay it immediately after. I almost feel sorry for the poor things. All the same, I wish you luck. If all goes well, he won't be waiting for long. The sooner we get this over, the sooner we can see results. We'll go hand in, we can rebuild her while we queue for this. Once more into the empty, dear friend. Thou art prepared, I assume? Now, before we embark on a journey, there's one question I feel I should ask. Where are we going? I would suggest a certain region that lies east of Northran, which was once home to the great Mount Atlas. And for the earth aspect of primal we wish to invoke, what could be a more fitting choice than Titan? Titan. I don't think I've heard of that one before. What's it like? The landslides. The landslides. Seems like you had a rather traumatic experience. But if our last battle is anything to go by, this one will be different from the time that Arshad remembers, yes? Aye, 'twould be wise to consider the two as entirely separate beings. As such, thou must needs conceive new stratagems if thou art to triumph in the battle to come. Past experience will avail thee naught, I fear. All right, Arshad. Once you're ready, we'll be on our way. Let's do it. It took a while, but we finally arrived. Ready, Arshad? Born ready. Memories of Titan come tumbling back. Duty finder has been updated with a new regular duty. Right. Let's go for it. And in the meantime, let's actually go hand in. We can rebuild her. I'm afraid that's the theme of the day is niching between things. Really very much do need a brain that works. No, I need to... I don't don't know what I need. I know I had a point. I've absolutely lost it. I'm sorry. If it was there, it's gone now. Fix 2p. Once again, I'm just staring at her cleavage. I hate to do it. But here we are. Did it work? Huzzah! God, I absolutely misread. And, need to sort out my inventory too. Good lord. What a mess. Just done that there. At least I'll be able to like get some stuff soon through this, you know? I'm also gonna move those because I'm gonna sell them. These I'm also going to move here. Because I'm going to sell these later. Or not sell, rather, I'm going to use those for whichever class first hits 70. I do like this song, I have to say. Someone put their text stats on, please. There we go. To remember my well, that's non-ideal. thought they were gonna get grumpy at me there, but no, they're getting grumpy at the tank for not paying attention, which is fair and justified. I've got 2 Von stacks, but I'm baby, so, you know, it's okay. Time. FFXIV saves lives. Like to thank Mistech for that. I have once again forgotten my rotation. That's okay, because I'm still 3rd on the list somehow. So rude. Thought I was finally free of Von stack hell, and yet here I am. Once again with Von stacks. If I die, I'll just apologise and say, I'm sorry, I've forgotten how to be a melee. Astonishing that I can have no idea what I'm doing, have completely forgotten my rotation and everything about how to play Dragoon and still be fucking 3rd on the DPS list. Love to see it. Folks, I'm a terrible commenter because I'm trying to remember how to play this fight and this class. sacrifice, save lives. There we go. We made it eventually, and we didn't wipe, astonishingly. How that's the case, I will never know. Read on the rest of this. Calm the healer. Nice. Got them out. Minion, rather. It's the main thing that I'm thinking about. Didn't get anything else, but that's okay. I also didn't get a con, but that's also okay. Welcome back. You must be exhausted. For a creature made of rock, he was a lot more agile than I was expecting. I wonder, was the Titan of your world a tough opponent too? He never stood a chance against me. I said dying a lot. Well, having seen the way you fight, I can believe that. But more importantly, you defeated another elemental being, which means we're a step closer to reclaiming the empty. I can't wait to see how much of a difference we've made this time. Grab some more crit. Always good to have crit. And we will unlock the next round of evens. I'm less worried about item level because Oster made me a bunch of stuff when I moved over to Faerie, so. Did we really do all of this? Aye, it would appear balance has returned to the element of earth, and yet the transformation hath affected only the immediate vicinity, whereas the lands beyond this lake doth remain unchanged. 'Tis passing strange indeed. Did we do something wrong? Though this falls short of the outcome I'd envisioned, 'tis plain our efforts were not in vain. Mayhap this localized phenomenon is the result of an intersection of ethereal currents. Therefore, it is reasonable to assume that similar locations in the empty have undergone comparable alterations. I can't have to speak. Then the ether will spread out from these points to cover the rest of... Green. I've forgotten how all of my voices that I used to do for these characters. To ring. Perhaps asserting her will over Eden have taken its toll. Are you alright? It's nothing. That didn't look like nothing to me. You better lie down for a while. No, really, I'm fine. Anyway, we've still got work to do. No, Thancred hath right of it. 'Twould be unwise to exert thyself overmuch. I appreciate your concern, but I do wish you'd stop fussing. Reen, thou knowest not the strain thou dost place on thyself. Though the elements of water and earth have been restored, continued exposure to the empty, stagnant ether may yet sap thee of thy remaining strength. Now that you mention it, I've been feeling a bit out of sorts ever since we got here. I should probably get away from the empty and rest for a while. Pray do so. Meanwhile, I shall remain here. The restoration of the first two elements hath produced unexpected results, and I require time to analyse our findings. However, I must ask thee to refrain from discussing our work in the empty, even with our closest comrades. Why? I thought they'd welcome the news. And indeed they shall, once we have more to show for our efforts. Nevertheless, this mission of one of surpassing danger, I am loath to place our dearest friends at risk unless absolutely necessary. You have their best interests at heart, I'm sure, but to be perfectly honest, I prefer not to keep secrets from people that I trust with my life. I don't want to make a habit of this, but I'll do as you ask. Seems to me that Reen isn't the only one who'd benefit from a change of scenery. Our Sleeping Beauty would likely fare better in more hospitable surroundings. We'll need to have our associates from the Crystarium organise a safe place for her to stay. If you and Arshad could go ahead and have a word with them in Mortuk, we'll catch up with you once your Yanger has finished whatever it is he needs to do. Perhaps thou too should accompany her on her return journey. I dare say she'd be glad of thy presence. No, not this time. She's come such a long way since we first met, and I'm worried that relying on me too much will only hold her back. We won't be staying in the First forever. The time will come for Reen and I to part ways and for her to follow her own path. I know you understand this too, young Yanger. I see you trying to pass on as much of your knowledge as possible while you can, and to her credit, she's actually taking most of it in. Reen is possessed of a natural affinity for ethereology, unlike some who shall remain unnamed. Natural affinity for staying awake during your lectures and the like, though come to think of it, she doesn't really take after me at all. However, likely she is predisposed to brooding in silence and lieu of voicing her concerns. Cool the fuck out, says the master of keeping his cards close to his chest. Anyway, Arshad, you better take the sky slipper with Reen. It's true she's been through a lot lately, but so have you. We'll need you ready for the challenges that lie ahead, so go on and get some rest. We shall await news of thy safe arrival in Armorang. Vamonos. Seems you were all having quite a serious discussion. I hope I haven't given you any cause for concern. If you say so, I probably shouldn't stay in the empty any longer than necessary, though. Do you want to take the first shift piloting, or shall I? Reen, you are a young girl. You shouldn't be driving. You are but child. Phew, I'm glad I had you there to keep me company. I've no idea how I would have passed the time otherwise. Now that we're here, I need to find our contact from the Crystarium. Before that, I was hoping I could have a word with you. Something's been on my mind. Might not be the best place for it, though. Those creatures over there look a bit hungry. When I first spoke to Thancred and Yanger about what I'd sensed in the empty, part of me wished we could have just left it alone. I guess I was scared of what we'd find. But now that we found Eden, I know I made the right choice. And if I'd given in to my fear, I probably would have spent the rest of my life wondering what might have been. From now on, whenever I hear that voice inside telling me to run away, to hide, I won't listen. That's not who I am anymore. Even so, all the courage in the world is not going to help me decide what we should do with that girl when she wakes up. Don't worry, she's going to become your friend. Do you remember what she said right before she passed out? Why am I here? What's happening? What if she's being controlled or forced to act against her will? Whatever the case, it's clear that she's not a monster. She's a person, like you or me. Obviously she knows something about Eden, and we need all the information we can get. But more than that, I just want to talk to her, to find out who she is and if there's anything we can do to help her. On the other hand, we mustn't forget she's already attacked us once. What's to say she won't try it again when she wakes up? If she keeps us from reclaiming the empty, it will all be my fault. It's no good. I can't make up my mind. What do you think we should do, Arshad? There's not much we can do until she's awake. I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't be trying to decide her fate before we even know who she is. In the meantime, we'll have to be patient and hope she comes around soon. Until then, I'll try and concentrate on the here and now. Speaking of which, I still need to see to Uriange's errands. People are on our way to meet Lentos the Sky Slipper and most of the apparatus we've been using, and since we've been sworn to secrecy, I suppose the same applies to them and their colleagues. Anyway, once that's over with, we can find a place to relax. Sorry, I just hit my desk there by accident. Now that we're here, allow me to introduce you to 2 members of our inner circle, or whatever you want to call it. That's Gulgul, who's interested in trading for any relics we find in the empty. Apparently he mostly deals in exotic weapons and whatnot, but he's agreed to keep us supplied with whatever else we can't get from the Crystarium. Now, the ones we came to meet should be around here somewhere. Ah, Reen, what a relief it is to see you returned unharmed from your expedition. Sorry to have kept you waiting. We were gone a bit longer than we expected. Arshad, I'd like you to meet Luri. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. As representative of the Settlement Council, I'm here to oversee the delivery of equipment deemed necessary to your mission. I will be on hand to provide any assistance you may require. Actually, there's something we'd like you to take care of. Probably best not to talk about it in the middle of the market, though. I'll take it from here, Arshad. You should get some rest. But before you go, I'd like to thank you for everything you've done. We still have a long road ahead of us, but if we give it a rule, there's nothing we can't handle. Ah, thanks. She's so cute. And she really does have Arshad wrapped around her little finger. I see. Though it is mere supposition, it would behoove us to proceed with caution. Moreover, I'd refrain from discussing the matter with Reen and Arshad until we know more. Well, I appreciate you telling me, even if it is too soon to be sure. I'm the one watching over her after all. Oracle of Darkness. I pray it is not true. I am going to talk to Google. Because I've genuinely forgotten what all of the maiming stuff looks like. Not really his style. What's the fending gear like? The same but with a wig. this is very... It doesn't die either. This is very, over the top. What's the earrings like? Do you like how the earrings look? Can't really see them though. I'm probably gonna wind up buying like mostly jewellery with this stuff. Keep it as glamour pieces. No. Anyway. Let's push ahead. There you are. I'm part of a team helping the highly classified and very, very secret thing. The fact of the matter is, I've come to inform you of a rather interesting development. It's about the girl who was brought back from the empty. She's finally woken up, you see. Yalthor, and Arshad too. We heard the news from Thancred. Is it true? Why yes, it most certainly is. Apparently her name is Gaia. She claims to be a free citizen of Yulmore, though she remembers nothing of the events leading up to her attack on Eden. She's lost her memory? Part of it at the very least. We also cannot be sure whether she's telling the truth or if it's merely a ruse. She's yet to display any hostility, which is encouraging, I suppose. And Thancred's with her now, is he? Yes, he's taken her to Yulmore, mainly to verify what she's told us so far. Quiz the locals, that sort of thing. After that, the plan is to come back here, though they're taking rather longer than I'd anticipated. I do hope nothing is amiss. Technically, Reen is amiss. Wink long. Good grief, are you always this slow? This rate, it'll be dark again before we know it. Sky nights her returning is all well and good, but it does make each day seem awfully short. And are you still dragging your heels back there? At least act as if you've got a purpose, would you? Thing is, Gaia is a heinous bitch, but, I do love her. Look here, I'm not one of your servants. Why don't you try carrying your own luggage for a change? Thancred, you're back! You lot are a sight for sore eyes. Yes, even you, Yonioche. Gaia and I have just finished shipping her personal effects from Yulmore. I also really want Gaia's outfit as a clothing item. If they did, they would make it femme only, and the one like main character I have who's a female PC would never wear it, but I'm glad we could finally meet. Properly, I mean. So, did you learn anything useful? Other than where she lives, not an awful lot. Her supposed neighbours barely knew the first thing about her. Hell, she barely knows the first thing about herself. Her recollection of life in Yulmore is patchy at best. But she seems convinced she will gain a memory if she accompanies us, and so she invited herself to join our merry band. And for her first act, she ordered me to carry her luggage. If you insist on standing around talking, might I suggest finding a place to sit down first? My feet are killing me. Thing is, like, especially that coat, or like top piece as like a body item, Arshad absolutely would wear that. Perhaps you should have chosen more sensible footwear. Still, it's not such a bad idea, shall we? Got so many things I want to ask, but I probably shouldn't bombard her with questions. Amnesia. 'Tis troubling, but not entirely unexpected. Well, give me my only impression of Guy, but I'm interested in seeing your opinion. Go on and talk to her and see what you make of her situation. What I make of her situation is that I liked her from the start, and she has great, like, this whole arc is how to develop a character. So you don't remember anything at all? Not attacking us, nor falling unconscious? Such elective amnesia would rightly raise suspicion within those of a cautious mind. Yet if she doth speak the truth, it would lend credence to my current hypothesis, though admittedly some further... How now, Your Honourship, she's only just woken up. You don't want to bore her back to sleep. In any case, I prefer to follow my instincts than telling me that Guy means us no harm. After much deliberation, I thought it only right to let her know about her work in the empty as a sign of goodwill. After all, trust works both ways. Though I would ask you, Arshad, not to let your guard down just yet. So you're the one I'm supposed to have fought? Come to think of it, I recognise you from somewhere. So you should, considering you tried to kill me. Well, Thancred's version of Ed's something to go by. You weren't exactly holding back yourself. Still, it seems I didn't give you much choice but to defend yourself, so let's call it even. Not that I have any recollection of it. It's like remembering fragments of a dream only to realise those things actually happened. It's as though my whole life has been leading to this. Thou speak as though they did expect these events. I guess you could say that. That's what the Faerie tells me. I can't see it, but it's as though there's someone else inside of me, and I can hear its voice inside my head. It whispers to me and lets me use its power. Magic, I suppose you could call it. Not that I know much about that sort of thing. And this power allow thee to tear open the fabric betwixt realities, that thou may call forth ether-starved denizens of what remaineth of the 13th? Oh, was that supposed to mean something, you just spouting random words at me? I mean yes, and also yes. Honestly, I don't know how you will put up with this. I've only just met him and his insufferable prattle is already giving me a headache. God, I can't believe I'm having this conversation. And to think I was flying about in a suit of armour, waving a sword. That doesn't sound like me at all. Someone else inside you? Like Minfilia was inside me. Aye, similarities cannot be ignored. Though it is far too early to say with certainty, Gaia may well be the Oracle of Darkness. Oracle of Darkness? What does this mean? It means that you may have been right when you said she has something in common with Emetzelk. Those who have been used as living hosts by an Ascian have no recollection of events that occurred during their possession. This I know from personal experience. But Gaia seems to have some memory still, even if they're a little hazy. Moreover, she's remained in control of herself even when she heard the voice within, much like you and Minfilia. And though Reen was very much her own person, Minfilia's presence did exert a change upon her outward appearance, granting her hair and eyes a hue akin to that of our dear departed friend. It is therefore not unthinkable that Gaia's raven locks may be a manifestation of the darkness which hath come to reside inside her. But I was born like this, and my parents, they both had black hair too. Or at least I think they did. It's been so long since I saw them, I can't remember too well. But enough about me. You're Minfilia, aren't you? The Oracle of Light, who they were hosting in Yulmore? That's right, their imprisoning is a better word. They kept me locked away and I didn't know much about Yulmore and its people, or the rest of the world for that matter. See, and how exactly did the Oracle of Light come to run with the Warrior of Darkness? Well, it all started when... Dramatic flashback time. And this is when we go back to the start of Shadowbringers. Yes, I still remember the day everyone went raving mad and North Waterloo read. Everything after that is still a blur though. From what Guy's told me, she wasn't part of the mob that attacked us, but how was she able to resist Waterloo's control? Mayhap 'twas the intervention of this Faerie of whom she speak. As curious that may be, we still don't know why she appeared out of nowhere as soon as Eden took flight. This is just a guess, but I'd say that the Faerie reacted to it in some way, and for whatever reason made me go after it. Yeah, that seems like the only explanation. I don't know about you lot, but I've had enough nattering. I'm going back to Eden. But why? Faerie wanted something from Eden, and knowing what that is will bring me a step closer to discovering exactly what has been living in my head all these years. Besides, my memories aren't going to restore themselves, and certainly not through idle chit-chat, so I'm going, and that's that. I do like her. Gaia, wait! Insufferable. Utterly insufferable, and yet we can't all leave her to our own devices. Come on. I do like her. While we're here, we'll unlock Savage. How may it be a service? Do you treat it on secrecy? Avoid it falling into the wrong hands if you limit the keeping of records to the bare minimum. Having said that, it does become rather difficult to keep track of the supplies, so I've asked Ring to provide reports on your activities. First such report will cover the time from arrival in the update to your battle with Titan. I cannot help but feel this is a rather large burden to place on you. No doubt she has enough on her plate as it is. Leary, I did what you asked. Ah, Arshad, just the person I was hoping to see. That's so. Well, before we go any further, please allow me to take receipt of the report. And I do hope you don't think I'm pertinent to ask, but what business might you have with Arshad? Actually, I brought something to show you. Ugh, sorry. Twist around and my legs don't go to sleep, as they all want to do. Thankfully, Yorion brought this back from Eden's core. If you look closely, you can see images of your battle in the empty. Yorion seems to think that Eden memory is captured in crystal form. Do you like to see? Gaze into the crystal, visions of past struggles. What's wrong? Forget about it. I've just unlocked Savage. No worries. I remember it. How odd. What could have caused Eden's memories to become so distorted? Well, we've been extracting and realigning enormous amounts of ether. Maybe that affected the crystal in some way? Even so, I expect we can find a use for this extraordinary artifact. I think I have an idea, though it shows images of things that never actually happened. Studying them may help us to prepare for the challenges we'll face in the future. Speaking of studying, Yorion has given me a few tomes to read through before our next expedition. I'd best get back to it, but I'll see you in just a hot second when you come join me to unlock Eden 5. There we go. This savage has been unlocked. Let's get out of here. I can't have gone far, especially not in those heels. I think I'm gonna move one of the things. I might move my doggy to the other side so that it's something on either side so I wig on my head. Like trying to set up a backdrop. Get away from me. Gaia! It's spoda time. Seems like no choice. You love to see it. What am I? A nerd. Most fascinating application of ethereal manipulation. Destructor Blasted manifests a significant span of time after the initial casting. With sufficient mastery of such a technique, a second spell could be made to smite the target at precisely the same moment. While it would demand exceptional ethereal control, its tactical potential cannot be denied. Powers befitting the Oracle of Darkness. When you fought Gaia, she opened void gates, yes? Back in the source, portals such as those were all too common, but tearing open the veil between the 1st and the 13th is a different matter entirely. We should be thankful she's not of a mind to turn that power against us, for now. I'm not entirely sure what Abhijit's witnessed, but I'm glad she's unharmed. What are you all gawping at? I don't mean to stare, but it's not every day I see magic like that. So is this the power of the Faerie you spoke of? Ever since I was a child, it's whispered to me, telling me what to do. That's how I came to use its power. But there are things even I can't explain. Holes ripped in thin air, terrifying creatures calling out, ghastly-looking blades and armour appearing out of nowhere, but worst of all is the dark energy that comes from inside. Power. It feels as though it's only flowing through me and never truly mine, and even when it answers my call, it always takes a few moments for the spells to work. So in summary, you don't have control over the magic. It's not as if I ever tried to control it. I haven't made a habit of fighting wild beasts. Unfortunately, it's part and parcel of travelling through Armoreng. While I understand you want answers, you're not going to find them as unprepared as you are. But if your heart is set on this, then we'll help you. Breen, think about what you're saying. You're seriously considering taking Gaia to see Eden? No telling what might happen if she loses control again, so the safest option is for her to stay away until our work is done. Someone we can keep an eye on her. You must realise it's for her own good. I must concur with Thancred's assessment. At present, we know precious little of Gaia's origin and still less of her powers. If she is indeed the Oracle of Darkness, her presence may complicate a task already fraught with peril, placing our mission and her own well-being in jeopardy. In full knowledge of the risks, dost thou still wish to pursue this course? I do. It wasn't so long ago that I was living in isolation, being held against my will. Maybe the people keeping an eye on me thought that was for my own good too. But if we shut Gaia away for our own convenience, we're no better than Valkyrie or Ranjit. I've learned that when someone is in need, we must reach out a helping hand, not push them away. Now it's my turn, to do at Gaia what you've all done for me. Even knowing the danger that lies ahead, I won't choose the easy way out. This is the path I've chosen. Is that good enough for you? Well, I can't say fairer than that. How about you, Yorianche? The light of thy spirit doth burn bright. Mine apologies, my dear, but we felt it necessary to test thy resolve. Let it suffice to say thou hast left no room for doubt. For what it's worth, Reen, I never doubted you. But make no mistake, the danger that Yorianche and I spoke of is all too real. If you're prepared to go through with this, we'll be right there beside you. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Couldn't care less who I travel with, but if we're going to go, then let's get going already. It's supposed to be some sort of craft waiting at the southern watchtower, yes? Come along then, and don't fall behind. I do like her. She's a tsundere trope. My weakness. My weakness. Don't be attacking me, meow. You could fly over and enjoy the soothing music of Armoreng, which I do really like. Of course I'm worried about what may happen when Gaia gets close to Eden. We'll keep a close eye on her, make sure she's alright. I couldn't leave this craft in Wardsu considered all the way out here. Actually, don't bother explaining. Whatever the reasons, I'm sure it's something frightfully uninteresting. Let's be about it, shall we? Circumstances have changed, our mission most assuredly hath not. Restoring light to the empty remaineth our primary objective. It might be a bit of a tight squeeze with the 5 of us, but we'll manage. Perhaps you and Yonshe can sit on top of our luggage? Throat hurts after all the reading. Hope that during our absence, rebalancing the ambient ether might work further change. Alas, it was not to be. Usual, we should keep us sojourn here as brief as possible. Let's tend to business quickly. Everything seems fine with here as far as I can tell. As for Gaia, she hasn't started attacking anything yet, so I'll take that as a good sign. So, there it is. Eden, where I'll find the answers I seek. Bringer of the Flood, first Sin Eater, would it lead me to my past or my future? What awaited on the path ahead I couldn't say, but I had no choice but to take the first step. I know what it's like. It was the same for me. But I was lucky because Thancred freed me from Yulmore and I had a chance to see the world. More importantly though, I met all kinds of people and they taught me not to live in another shadow, but to be myself. Maybe one day you'll have that chance too. Said your piece, have you? One day? What's that supposed to mean? I don't know how the Great Oracle of Light sees such things. But for someone like me, who's only known life in Yulmore, there was no tomorrow. There was no future. Only the here and now. While we're wasting time on these meaningless conversations, I feel each moment of my life slipping away. Time. It won't wait. Not for me, not for anyone. I don't know how much longer I can hold on to who I am. I'm sorry, Gaia. Gaia? It's probably not even my real name. It isn't? When Thancred asked my name, I couldn't remember. That's when the Faerie whispered to me, Gaia. But if you grew up in Yulmore, surely someone there must know who you are. Everyone I knew had either disappeared or been turned into Sin Eaters. Those whose faces and names I still remember, that is. In the end, we found not a single person who so much as recognised me. As far as I can recall, I've never been the most sociable person, but still. Well, even if it's not your real name, I think Gaia sounds lovely. If you're happy with it, then that's what I'll call you. And if you're willing, instead of the Oracle of Light, please call me Reem. It's not the name I was born with, that's long forgotten now, but the one that people I consider family gave to me. Is that so? Well, much as I'd love to keep up chatting, there's something that's been bothering me. I thought the Faerie would have reacted to Eden in some way, but so far, nothing whatsoever. From what I gather, it wasn't until Eden started moving that I appeared out of the blue. Perhaps if you were to actually try flying it somewhere, Faerie might break its silence. If you've got elements to restore whatever it was, why don't you hurry up and get it over with? I need to learn some manners. And you need to stop wasting my time. Like Arshad's like, Alright everyone, I think we talked for long enough. If you're ready, let's make our way to Eden. I'm gonna have to AFK at the next unlock, but I will do it once we've unlocked the thing. My memories, I think they're slowly coming back to me. Mother and Father would constantly blather on about how the flood of light could return to end the world when we least expected it, and we should live each day as though it were our last. They'd often say, I wish this moment would last forever. That was until they were selected for ascension by Lord Warthree and were never to be seen again. Since I had no other relatives or even close friends to speak of, I was left alone in the world. Past like that seems hardly worth remembering, does it? Meet's little chat with Gaia reminded me that for all our obvious differences, there are things we have in common. I too grew up not knowing who my parents were. The day Louis Soir gave me the sun and mortars was one I'll never forget. Years later it was under more desperate circumstances that I gave a certain young girl the name Nymphilia. Little did I know then I'd end up crossing time and space, taking on a meaning I never could have foreseen. It would have taken on a meaning I never could have seen, came to be passed on to one girl after another, binding them to a fate not their own. In a sense, it may be said that I chose not only one but two names for Reem, but whatever name she is called, she is truly her own person now. And as central to our lives as our names are, I believe it isn't the name itself, but the one that symbolises that matters the most. I chose my own name, so... I've done some reading about the land swallowed up by the flood, but it's no easy task to find locations with a dominant element. I'm glad we have Yoni on shade to point us in the right direction. Following the initial changes wrought by the release of water on Earth, the empty hath displayed no further signs of alteration. Stability, some may call this, and be satisfied, but in truth it is passivity. A passivity stemming from light's ever-pervasive presence. If we are to break the status quo, we must needs employ catalyst, a third element that shall rouse or stabilise those unleashed energies and activity. Therefore, I propose lightning. So the primal would be Ramu, yes? From what I've heard, he's a guardian of the forest and not particularly keen on conflict. But you've actually fought him, haven't you? He's half man, half beard, and another half beard for good measure. Ah yes, Thancred mentioned he more closely resembles a person than a beast, unlike most other primals, and apparently he tends not to move about much. I'm glad to see your lessons have paid off. Well, it's like you say, if we want to call forth an accurate representation of the primal, I should picture in my mind as clearly as possible. At the very least, it's worth a try, but the rest is up to Arshad. In order for this to work, we actually need to fly somewhere, yes? So rather than sitting in one spot where you exchange anecdotes, why don't you get this plastic thing moving first? One must admit, the suggestion is not without merit. Reen, might I suggest the Gandalf Thunderplains as our next location? These plains, it is writ, were potentially blanketed in storm clouds, only source of illumination, the ceaseless barrage of lightning. Ambient ether that lingereth there shall provide ideal conditions for the summoning. Then that's where we're heading. Come on, Eden, we've got a job to do. That should be as good a spot as any. Alright, Arshad, whenever you're ready. Memories of Ramu flash through your mind. Nice. Don't think I've ever been anywhere like this before, and I'm not sure I'd want to come back. True dream for my liking. Would be nice if our next destination's a little cheerier, but I suppose I can't exactly choose if I want answers. Even if Reen has done a good job on memories in my description of Ramu, it will likely make little difference to how he manifests. After all, it's your memories that shape the summoning, not hers. The area is saturated with lightning aspected ether, this I'm able to confirm. In addition to the primal, be thou wary of stray bolts that may occur as a result of activity. All the lightning that's fallen here over the years has left the ground covered in craters, but don't worry, Eden will give you something more even to stand on. Right, I'm gonna AFK super duper quickly. Hello, sorry about that. Hello, Nika. Yes, exactly. Cheery in this expansion, highly unlikely. I need to fix my Stream Deck buttons, but rather than doing that, I'm gonna fiddle about with this a bit. keep that on Q because that's where it used to be. Swift, Lucid, Asuna, because that's where Asuna is. Shortcast and Rescue. I'm going to pop over all the way at the top. I don't know what any of these things are, so Eos and Selene I'm going to put over here. There. Put that here. Put that there. So these two are put my DPS buttons here. Actually, I think I'm gonna move this, that my mouse buttons are all DPS buttons. I could put Sacred Soil there. Straight. And I'll put that there. Dissipation. X card. We'll put there. Strange Session, I'm going to put that there. Ether Pact. Move this up here. 30 seconds. Put that there. I've already got Ruin. Okay. So I guess Ruin turns into Broil and Bio turns into Biolysis. Put that one there then. Maybe nothing goes there. I don't think there's a difference between the Eos and Selene anymore, but I don't know. Whispering Dawn is a cure over time. Veil of Illumination is a buff. Unit. Fairy Blessing. Summon Sarah. Consolation. Okay. Now I'm going to put that there. So I've got my two buffs. We'll see if this makes sense. So that's Physic. It gives me Galvanize, which is a barrier. And then this is Asuna, which we know and love. Cool, right. Well, now that I've done that, should I... No, I'll go pick up the other quest and then maybe we'll come back to it later. Other quest, by the way, I mean Papa's Bunker, which I'm probably not going to get done today. So next week may be like the doing the rest of Papa's Bunker. I don't know, what do I want to be? I want to be here, Clusia. Next week I may do Papa's Bunker and anything else we've got left to unlock, though I'm pretty certain I've done it all at this point, but... Let me have a look, actually. So we've got the raids to do. We've done... Seat of Sacrifice. I've got to unlock the extreme for that. Done all the dungeons. So I think it's just the 2 raids that I've got to do. IIRC, but very good chance I'm not remembering correctly. I'm also going to move these 2 over here because this is where I expect them to be. Come on, Pugsworth. We had a bunch of puggies and then we lost them. I guess they were all in Rage Relay together. Ugh, hurry up and pop, meow. I'm bored, meow. Hope the repartment placement will result in memory loss. We have too many unanswered questions. Repair process complete. Restore the... what was I saying? Ha! Sweet success. Let's not waste any more time about it. 2P, do you remember what happened? I was damaged in the combat and you brought me here. And then you wildly inconvenienced us by dying on the table, yes? Yes, yes. Unfortunately for you, no, fortunately rather for you, we're clever enough to pick up plot here. And by the fact we're having this conversation, I assume it succeeded in repairing the damage. I see. Did you locate the key as I instructed? Despite how little information we had to go on, we did. It's fully operational as far as we can tell, so can you use it? That's non-ideal. An earthquake? Everyone, outside, now. An earthquake? I say waggling my eyebrows so often that I'm, like, wonk up my eyes. The mountain! What happened to the mountain? This isn't... An old look. Time for robots. I know, right? What this is proof of. 2p, no, there are too many. Worried for me? Don't be. There's proof that the outfits for women in this expansion are way better than for male characters. Like, there are so many of these that... What is the meaning of this? It means that your assistance is no longer necessary. I'd love to have some of these outfits in Arshad. There she is. Your friend and mine. Played by a much more skillful player than me. Have it your way then. See this world to its end. Apparently this is the sequel to, I know I worried, but I thought she was our friend. Apparently this is a sequel to Automata, but I'm nowhere near finishing it, so I don't know what's happening. And who are you? Is your dress about to turn white? Because if so... I am Yoha number 2 Type B unit, but you may call me 2B. I'm here to destroy the androids in white. We can discuss this later. Right now we've got to stop TP. Puppy's bunker unlocked. Let's see. I think I'm gonna queue for both. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say I'll queue for both and then do whichever one pops first. Do that one first, but never mind. Now we can queue for it while we finish off the rest of the evenings. Ugh, my back hurts with sitting in a wonky way. Pardon me. Goodness. I do be sleeping though.
There's no turning back. Get ready.
Whatever you say. Again, another music that I really like.
So, this is Ramu.
Go. This time around, I will remember my my rotation and my positionals. Not uptime. it's very important to honk up time whenever you are at risk of dropping up times. It's been ages since I farmed any of these, so I'm like remembering each fight as we go along. This is where I turn into a terrible commentator because the whole time I'm just trying my hardest not to die. Bugger. Oh well. It'll be fine. It will no longer be fine. Please stop wiggling him. Fine. True north it is. Camera cuts me absolutely fucking up my rotation. Hundo P. Yeah. Oh, I'll be honest, I've not even been looking at the tank. My brain is like in please don't die me mode. Here we go. Is this safe? I hope so. Please don't. Hey, stop moving. I'm not up time. Not up time. One of these, but just the one. Please pick it up. There we go. Woof. You love to see it. They said crying. Right. Where's safe to stand? Here is. Camera cuts me absolutely fucking up my rotation again. Not only not floor tank in this bloody group. Oh, that's alright. Last time when I was doing Eden 4, we just had a bunch of useless tanks, so both of our tanks were useless rather than doing a terrible job, so. Fine, true north it is. How did I not get hit by that? That was astonishing. Did I leave that in a stupid place? I may have done. Oh, I've healed through it before. I know these kids can do it. Nice. Welcome, healer. Need on that. Greed on all the rest of these. You'd love to see it. So that thing was created almost in your memories. Maybe there's a way we can use even some of the fairy like that. I had my eye on Guy the entire time we were fighting Ramu, and besides the sort of reaction you might imagine from someone watching you take on a half-man, half-flying horse thunder god, I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. The fact that Eden itself also showed no signs of being affected by a presence can only be a good thing, but I'd understand if Guy herself were more than a little disappointed that she's no closer to the answers she seeks. Once again, 'twas most superlative display of thy puissance. Now I could not fail but notice that body did belong to Ixion, fabled equine embodiment of lightning. Hast thou perchance encountered the beast? I thought I was prepared to expect anything, but I didn't expect Ramu to turn out quite like that. Appearance aside, he was quite aggressive as well. Self-belief in him as a kindly guardian clearly makes quite a difference to his temperament. Anyway, I'm just glad it's over. Let's go back to the camp and see if anything has changed. Yes. Ideal. Although, can you, I don't want to fight, like, even the Moggle. Can you imagine on Maeve? I'd have to, like, beat myself up. The crystal's a different colour, but apart from that, it all looks the same. It may look the same eye, but it feels different. The air has grown slightly more humid, as it does before rain. Oh, I love that, though. I have to say I'm not exactly prepared for wet weather. If you can control elements and so on, can't you tell it to send those clouds somewhere else? Speaking of which, I'm not very cold with its so-called powers. Changing yellow crystals to purple is the extent of its abilities. No surprise if Faerie didn't bother showing up. I hope that whatever's next is more worthwhile. Rather than influencing the ground beneath our feet, Eden hath brought change to the firmament above. And yet 'tis clear that a more dynamic element is required for the natural cycle of precipitation and evaporation to be complete. So we need movement. Would wind do the trick? Most certainly. It seems we have a plan. Let's not dwell much on the effects of each individual element, and then focus instead on them seeing all restored. I've forgotten how to speak. Power of the Oracle. Not to be sniffed at, it seems. All my life you're a constant companion, your voice ever seeping into my mind. Why then, of all times, did you abandon me? Love that, to be age. That'd be great. Deaf even to the crashing of thunder, were you simply biding your time? I'm going back into Higurashi mode where inside thoughts are always in my normal voice and it's only the voices which go different. Plan fails to achieve the desired effect, so you move on to the next with minimal breathing and prattling. Seems we're finally learning. I'm not sure what I expect to see after restoring the lightning element, but I did feel a little stunned. Still, as Thanker and Yoriyanshe say, there are changes taking place, even if they're not immediately obvious. Much as I bemoan Yoriyanshe's long-winded explanations, we'd be lost without him to take care of all the ethereal science and whatnot. Obviously, I'm quite sparing with my praise, as I wouldn't want it to go to his head. Wink. I don't ship the two, you ship the two. Ere we set out once more, might I ask if thou art familiar with the process by which rain is made to fall? It's an elegant conspiracy. Have to go for the joke answers on this, dude. Certainly would not be beyond the elegance to manipulate the weather, if such slight suggestion, but it is a naturally occurring phenomenon that I would speak. With the restoration of our first element, the empty was much more blessed with the most essential ingredient in the cycle of precipitation, water. Under normal circumstances in the atmosphere, it would have caused water to evaporate from the land surface. Oh, she would have had everything sorted in seconds. You know, Kryle's better than everyone else. As invisible vapour, it is borne by the wind high into the firmament, where it doth condense as clouds before descending once more, returning to the land in the form of rain. Kryle and Tataru, everything sorted. Seems we need wind aspected ether to create more clouds. That it hasn't rained yet must mean there aren't enough. And before that, we need fire aspected ether to make water evaporate. Seems to me that's not much good without the other. Why don't you just draw out both elements together? Suggesting that Arshad fight two Denethorn deities, each one as deadly as Rhyme at the same time? Do you realise how absurd that is? And yet, it is a notion that doth warrant further consideration. Oh, you cannot be serious. Cast your minds, if you will, to the elemental wheel I did show you in the Booksman's shelves. Flashbacks. Wind giveth rise to lightning, whose spark doth produce fire. By restoring both wind and fire in tandem, we may maintain balance between those dynamic forces. That would have been too ham. The ensuing battle should indubitably present an ordeal unlike any Arshad hath ever faced. I believe, however, this path doth lead to the prize we seek. Oh, so perhaps it's not so absurd at all, after all, eh, Thancred? Poor Thancred's absolutely getting ganged up on here. Wouldn't dream of questioning Yoriyanshe's grasp at the science behind it. My concern is for the burden this would place not only on Arshad, but on Reen as well. What do you make of the plan? If Yoriyanshe thinks it'll work, I'm willing to give it a try. Arshad's like, if I have to. As long as you know what you're letting yourself in for. You're going to need all your strength, so see that you get plenty of rest. I should probably repair my gear, actually. Kaya. I selected a location which wind and fire aspected ether lie dormant, though I shall wait until Reen hath completed her preparations ere I dispense with the particulars. I'd rather Reen keep in mind on her work here than worry about Gaia. Mind you, it might be better for them to clear the air before we go any further. Let's go speak to her then. I'm intrigued to see what we'll get soon though. Can't stand all this waiting around. Having grown up in Yulmore, I'm used to only living for the moment. We never had any reason to concern ourselves with later, tomorrow, the future and so on. Those things simply didn't matter. But after Lord Vorthree disappeared and the night returned, everyone in Yulmore started thinking differently. I was only there for a short time with Thancred and I couldn't believe how much it changed. It was almost as though under Lord Vorthree's rule, time had stopped moving altogether, and when it ended, life went back to how it was supposed to have been. They realised they had their whole lives ahead of them, to make plans and look forward to a new day. Feels like I'm the only one who can't move on, as if I'm still stuck in the past. What's worse, I can barely remember any of it. Even so, I can't stand the way they act as if the past never happened, choosing to forget it all. Because 5.4 is early December, so... Man, that reminds me, we've got... When's the live letter? November 27th. So 5.4 is coming very soon, which means time for another world first race. Seems Rena's reluctant to air her concerns. Let's cheer her up. Stupid emote. Yes, you're right. There's no use trying to ply it even while I've got other things on my mind. It's about Gaia, you see. Truth is that, apart from Alice and Alphina, I hardly know anyone my own age. I thought I should make an effort to be nice to Gaia, but, well, you've seen how she is around me. I understand she's got her own problems to deal with, but I thought that maybe I could help her in some way. It's not my place to intrude, and I should probably just leave her be until we finish restoring the elements. After all, that's more important, isn't it? Let me talk to Gaia while you concentrate on the task at hand. Is what I would have said once upon a time. Seems to me you're the one best qualified to take care of this problem. I know she can be a bit prickly, to put it mildly, but if anyone can get through to her, it's you. Although we've only known her for a short while, we're all she's got, and I think she realises that. Just let her know she's not alone, and she'll come round eventually. All right, I'll give it a try. Do you have any advice? Thancred certainly has the gift of the gab. Why not ask him? It's real bully Thancred hours here today. Afraid that since arriving the first, I've had little time to mingle with any of the locals, and I haven't a clue what young women like Gaia would be interested in. Let's give me an idea. I'll start with some small talk and go from there. Actually, since before she even woke up, I've been asking Lena about what's popular in the Crystarium. I thought it might be nice to show Gaia around the place one day, you see. So that's what you were doing. Suppose it makes for a nice change of pace from all that studying. And I must commend thee on thy choice of confidant. Captain's powers of observation maketh her a veritable font of wisdom concerning the behaviour of the Crystarium citizenry. Yes, and now it's time to put that knowledge to good use. Don't let the fear of rejection hold you back. Persistence is the key. Speaking from experience by any chance. It really is real bully Thancred hours. I love it. Whatever do you mean? Lessons learned from days spent in pursuit of ladies' fair one, I suspect. Couldn't help yourself, could you? It's alright, Thancred. Your secret's safe with me. May I remind everyone, the reason we're here is to create a better future for everyone at the First, which includes you and Gaia. Well, I might be not on the same schedule as bringing life back to the empty. If you're able to befriend her, that'll be another way of contributing to a brighter tomorrow. So go on, she's waiting for you. Alright, wish me luck. You'd best observe the conversation from within earshot. Thancred may have taken on the world of Ring's surrogate father, but I've become somewhat of a mentor to her, though largely instilling what knowledge I can of the ethereal science. More attentive student thou shalt seldom find. It's when Rena and I face our problems together that it truly feels like we're family, or at least what I imagine it'd be like. Suppose we both grew up without our birth parents to guide us, but I think we turned out rather well given the circumstances. Wonder if this is the kind of bond that Philomene shared with Nymphilia. Let's wait and see the fireworks. I'm gonna eat some golden fish. I will as well. In can. What do you want? Nothing really. It can wait till later. For all we know, there might not even be a later. If you've got something to say, hurry up and spit it out. Is everything alright? Not feeling strange from being around Eden or anything? Is that what you came here to talk about? Actually, I wanted to ask you. Would you like to go and have coffee biscuits with me? What? Coffee biscuits. They serve them at the second serving of Crystarium. Everyone's talking about them, so I thought that maybe once we finished our work here, you and I could go there together. Let me get this straight. You came to talk to me about biscuits? Yes. They're light and crispy, and when you dip them in the coffee, they go all nice and squidgy. The reason you're even interested in that in the first place is because everyone else is doing it. Can't you think for yourself? I do what I want when I want. After all, the world could end at any moment. That's not going to happen. Not if I've got anything to do with it. It's raining. Apologies if you can hear the heavy rain over mic. Listen, Guy, I understand what you're going through. Believe me, I do. But you mustn't lose hope. A new day will come, then another and another. Life's not so bad if you give it a chance. You'll see. Shut up. You think you know me? Even I don't know who I am. Until I find the truth, I'll never be free. Then we'll find it together. I've seen enough pain, enough loss, and I don't want to see any more. And that includes you, Gaia. Why do you care so much about other people? What have they ever done for you? I'm sure you haven't forgotten how you and Morans treated you, the precious oracle of light, like a bird in a cage. And yet you act as if none of that had ever happened. So forgiving, so selfless. You and your family brought back the night sky and you finally had a chance to lead a normal life. But instead you're flying around in a giant sin-eater, trying to turn a barren wasteland into some sort of paradise, and for what? I may not remember much of my past, but I'm fairly certain I've never heard of anything so ridiculous. Out of morbid curiosity, I'll see it through to the end, but if you think that makes us friends, you are very much mistaken. Let her be, Reen. She's just an emo teenager. Gaia. We've all been there. Some of us dressed like that when we were emo teenagers. I surmise that to keep Gaia waiting overlong would only agitate her further. So you've got me munching in the background. I didn't make enough pasta for dinner, so I'm hungry. And I also forgot to buy the beans that I needed for protein, so... Every day of my life, I'm envious about how that outfit looks. Like, it's good, it just does not, like, colour accepted, does not look the same on Arshad, you know? Even the pants don't look, and trousers don't look great on him. Boots are okay, I guess, but not ideal, you know? Not you as well. Look, I've had enough small talk to last my lifetime, so don't even bother. I believe you have a job to do, yes? Then be quick about it. Oops. To defeat the deiform manifestations of both wind and fire shall require every last mote of thy strength. That thou hast triumphed over such beings since previous encounters should be at the forefront of thy mind as we commence the summoning. Where are we going this time, Yurianshe? Place called Ashwell doth satisfy your requirements, I believe. Fables speak of travellers sweltering beneath the blazing sun of the heat of the midday sun, while after nightfall slicing winds did tear at their cloaks. I see. Hopefully it won't be quite that bad when I draw out the elements. Reen, my dear, may I remind thee that to focus is not the same as to deny other thoughts. Whatever it is that troubleth thee, thou wouldst be better for acknowledging it. Yes, you're right. Of course. It's Gaia that I'm worried about. That is well. May the concern for her lend thee yet more strength. I should be crunching after stream, but here we are. It's time. I'll begin drawing out the wind and fire in equal measure. We'll only get one chance of this, so let's make it count. Memories race through your mind. I get the rainbow coloured goldfish because it's slightly cheaper than the normal ones. Right. Let's sign up for both of these. And we'll see which one pops first. How long has it been since our encounter with Ifrit and his amount of followers? If we summon two problems at once, maybe they'll fight each other. That way you need to beat the one they're standing. But I suppose it defeats the purpose of it if you don't take them both down at the same time. My studies indicate that no covenant of Garda's servants, the Ixal, is present here on the first. My hypothesis to the reason why can perhaps wait until another time. Wonder what sort of hellish beast you've conjured up this time. It's gonna be a puppy's bunker. Which I almost don't want to do. Because I've only got 20 minutes left of stream. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to do puppies. I'm going to try and push through with Eden. In the meantime, I'll finish off this quest I've got to rank up. Hopefully Eden pots relatively quickly. It's reset day, but nobody's farming gear anymore, so... Clicked the wrong button, so it's fatter cat time. I'm just, while I wait for this queue to pop, the other thing that I want to do just to get it out of my inbox is to clear this, so. Camera cuts to me munching away. I really did not make enough dinner. I'm fucking starving. Bugger, I've got to use my old dark hold for this. Okay, well in that case, let's go unlock the start of Bozja. We'll do this for the next 20 minutes while I wait for fuel to pop. And then next week I'll do a puppy's bunker on Arshad, and then I will head over to Bozja and do as much of that as possible. I try and push through to level 10. How do I... That brings us to the 1st December. 8th. I wonder... Trying to remember where we unlock. Into the Demon Enclave, it may be here. I'm trying to like plan out what I'm going to be doing in this game in my head. If I spend the next 2 to 3 weeks, or 1 to 2 weeks rather, catching up Arshad on everything, including Bozja, which I want to do on stream because it would be my like organic reaction to it, because I've already Bozja, lock. Resistance weapon quests, here we go. Work out where we are. Complete. What do I want? Quests. Bear with me. Pardon me. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Okay, I do need to be over in Canvas. I'm on Pugsworth. Hurry it up. Let's go. I'm gonna lock it to the point where we have to queue in. If nothing else is happening, I might just end stream early and then we'll finish off Eden next week. I do want to pick this up. Okay. I guess I have to unlock that after I've actually unlocked Bozja, I guess. Good to see you, my friend. Though it came at great cost, I'm pleased to say Master Geralt succeeded in reforging the weapons of Gunhilda's blades. Indeed, the Queen's illustrious guard has at last been reborn. When the deed was done, word quickly spread to every faction of the Bozjan resistance. As we'd hoped, it has reaffirmed their resolve to press on and see our home return to its former glory. In fact, our troops have already reclaimed Utya's Aegis, an outpost on the Bozjan southern front. When you're ready, I'd ask you make for the front line to better assess the situation for yourself. Sheros can tow you the way. And to do that, go over here. Ah, Blade Caprati Helone. I've been expecting you. If you'll come with me. I was hoping to do Eden in its, yeah, I know how all this works. I've just done this. I was hoping to do, like, Bozja in its own time. Master Helone, might I speak with you for a moment? Concerns Master Geralt and the resistance weapons. Presume he's already explained the method by which Gunhilda's blades refine their weapons, that being combat with formidable enemies. Master Geralt and Zlatan intend to employ similar methods to enhance the resistance weapons, but they've hit something of a stumbling block. To make matters worse, Master Geralt, for reasons he refuses to explain, will offer no suggestions as to how they might proceed. Try as he might, Zlatan cannot convince him to expand on his thoughts, and quite frankly, we're at a loss. So yeah, the reason I was hoping to do Bozja by itself is because I didn't record my reaction to it on Maeve. Because I did that like completely off camera before I was able to start streaming again. So I sort of wanted it to be its own thing. Might we prevail upon you to inquire after Master Geralt? Right. Enter the front. We can't do that while we're in this queue. Come on, healer, please accept. And now, premium member. It's you. Now I know what you're thinking, but don't you go believe in whatever nonsense they've been spouting about me work. Everything's going according to plan. Told me much the same, and I believed him too at first, yet he refuses to speak to me of their supposed work. Should I take my eyes off him for even a moment, a mug of ale will surely find its way to his hands. That's bollocks, and you know it. Where would I even keep all of this alleged ale, huh? Behind the forge, in the forge, buried beneath a palm tree next to your tent, the ammunitions depository. Anyone with a nose can tell when you put back a few. Ah, shows what you know. Ale in the ammunitions depository shipped to the rest of the front line. Could not come back even if I wanted. Unless you forget, I furnished an entire squad of soldiers with their resistance weapons. Don't you think it'd be just a wee bit demanding, breathing down my neck for more bells and whistles? Was enough trouble forging them in the first place. Without me muse, well, has the master blacksmith finally reached his limit? Shut your mouth. You ain't but scratched the surface of me talents. Not my fault the inscriptions are proven so bloody difficult to refine. On top of that, they're getting in the way of other improvements I might be able to make. Trouble is that what gives the weapon their teeth, their design, the materials used to forge them, that's all mostly for show. If you want your weapon to have more kick, magically inscriptions needs to be more potent, but I don't even know where to begin. This is indeed a curious predicament. How did Gunhilda's Blades of Eld accomplish this, I wonder? Any thoughts? Would that we could glimpse into the past and see for ourselves. Speaking of the past, a couple of soldiers came asking about how to extract memories out of crystals or some such. By the sounds of it, the Bozjans used crystals for damn near everything what had to do with memory, even keeping memories of their fighting techniques. Ah, that reminds me. We recently received a most interesting report from Gunhilda's Blades. Since taking down the resistance weapons into hand, they've come across peculiar new crystals on the field, quite unlike anything previously discovered. Could be just what I'm looking for. Never mind. I think this is going to be it. I'm going to do this, hand in the quest that finishes it, and then I'm going to log out, I think. I might might unlock the next chunk, but this will be my last thing. Then I'll do those two Eden quests. Both real.
Both wind and fire have answered the call. Reed, are you alright?
Astonishing. Somebody who ready checked? And a countdown? Goodness. I am sorry for any frames that are dropping. I'm having a bit of trouble in game as well. As I fuck up my rotation. It's been ages since I've listened to this music. I've forgotten how much I liked it. I definitely hit arm's length there, but whatever. Definitely was not hitting E rather than fuck, my rotation. I've entirely forgotten what one is, what to do with it. What did I die of? Other than, like, death. Is it... Oh, Siobhan! Woo! My favourite sound effect in this video game. That was rude. Fulfilling my God-given role. This floor tank. house party. What staff is that? That is, oh, that's so pretty. God, I love that. That's such a cool staff, oh my word. Scroll out, that would help. Success. I'm sorry I go so quiet when I'm doing these fights, especially when I'm doing them on Arshad, in a class that I'm nowhere near as used to. Really have to concentrate just on my rotation and not fucking things up. Whoops, I was gonna... Didn't mean to need, I was gonna greed on stuff. I shall calm the healer. There we go. 2 comms. 2 comms for the baby. Moment I thought Mina had lost control of the ether. Luckily, we managed to avoid any major disasters from what I can tell. That 2 such ferocious beings should meld into a single entity is frightful indeed. Further research must needs be performed to fully comprehend this unexpected phenomenon. Combining the contrasting powers of different primals seems an awful lot like the ultimate weapon. In any case, I'm pleased to see you were as successful here as you were in the Praetorium. That was incredible. I never imagined they'd fuse together like that, but you took them down at the same time. I suppose the main thing is we've now got 2 elements closer to restoring the ether of the empty. Let's go and see what difference it's made. Actually work. Just like Yuriorche said it would. Feel the rain on your skin. Everything we could have hoped for. Indeed, our endeavours have been repaid manifold. I wonder what will happen when we restore ice. Is something the matter? One more element and then what? You'll have achieved the impossible while I'll still be nothing. No memory, no past, no family, nothing. The world has moved on and left me behind. Anyone who ever knew me is either dead or gone. So, Almighty Eden, you can mend this broken world, but you can't restore one girl's memories? Give me back my life, damn you. I still hunger. Ah! Extinguish the accursed light. Awaken our true power. Enough riddles. Tell me who I am. You are... I am... Gaia. Gaia. Gaia? What's wrong? Reclaim your memories. Fulfill your destiny. In the latest update from Raid Shadow Legends. I don't understand. Reen? Gaia, can you hear me? Get away from me. Huff. Pant, pant. Amidst the sound of falling rain, your voice called from within. Long after the rain passed, your voice echoed on. Well, how spooky. But for now, folks, we are going to end things off here. I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. It is very much appreciated, and I do hope that you enjoyed. I have got the wrong end screen on. I just realised I should have put my other one on. I am going to be streaming Destiny 2 tomorrow at about 8 o'clock Pacific. We are going to be, this time, hopefully for real, getting Aramis. We shall see. I've managed to level up my light level a bit, but we'll see how it goes. Then on Thursday, I'll be streaming Higurashi When They Cry, Minagoroshi, where we're going to continue to try and break the cycle of fate. Appropriate enough. Then on Friday, there probably won't be a stream. Saturday, I'll be streaming Nier Automata, where we're going to be continuing our adventures in Route B, and seeing, in the words of Yoko Taro, what kind of human we're trying to birth. Da Vinci. And then on Sunday it'll be Destiny 2, where we're going to be starting the post Beyond Light story content. The Season of the Hunt started today, so we're going to be doing some of that. And basically we're going to be seeing how it goes. My plan is to finish the main chunk of Beyond Light tomorrow, and then I'm going to be doing like the other story stuff on Sundays, including like the other quests and stuff like that. But I'll also be, you know, grinding out Crucible, Gambit, Strikes, all that sort of thing. I'm not going to be raiding, certainly not anytime soon, but we'll see what else happens. Either way, take care everybody, have a wonderful evening, do look after yourselves and be excellent to each other. Thank you very much for coming along, and I shall see you guys tomorrow.